Thank you. We're having a little bit of sound technical issues with the streaming. You could all hear me here, but she's working diligently on letting it so that our wave hello, even though they can't hear us, they know we love them. And I want to welcome you. I'm Reverend Tracy and delighted to have all of you here this morning and to our friends online. When things happen that are unexpected, then the minister forgets what she's supposed to say. So everybody just take a deep breath with me and we'll reset. Because everything is as it should be. And we are in our right place. Our right place is wherever we are. We cannot be outside of spirit. We cannot be outside or away from love. We can close our eyes to it. We can close our minds and our hearts. But we are always held. We are always held in this energy of life itself. Life giving to itself, life sustaining us, life wanting only the highest and best. And when we know that, when we bring ourselves into alignment, which is what we do here every Sunday morning, in every classroom, in every meeting that we have, in our annual meeting coming up at the end of the month, whenever we do that, we actually step into a place that's always there. A place and energy that is always available to us. So welcome and thank you and give yourselves credit for getting yourselves here or here to know that we are exactly where we are meant to be, and that can only be for good. All right, so this morning we have some fabulous music. We have the Jacksons performing, as you can see, accompanied by our very own Mr. Harrison over here. And our practitioner on platform is the very colorful Miss Patty Collins. Colors are good. Colors are good. And so is music. So we're going to start with a song. I'm going to invite you to stand up, and we're going to sing "Spirit is in This Place." Bring your attention within. The tone of the bowl resonates with that heart space, that place within us that knows the love, the peace, the wisdom that is the very essence of life itself. And right here, right now, we live and breathe and move in this oneness of spirit. It can be no other way.
In this oneness, in which we're all singing, we know that this room, this very room, is filled with love. And we just feel that energy, that love, from our toes up to the ceiling of this room. And it is good.
There's nothing even coming up. I love that sound.
place.
Yeah, this
We
is not
bless
getting
our sound team,
audio out.
knowing that everything's easy and effortless and smooth.
You've got it there.
We bless our musicians. We bless our ministry. We bless today's message, knowing that it's just perfect for each of us here.
Yeah, there's no sound getting through that at all. Not even this one.
And so feeling the beauty of the music, the beauty of the life. We are grateful to be here today.
Unplug this and plug it back in, but that will mess up everything for a little while while we put it.
And so we got home and so together. Sweet. Good morning. One of them involves my mother. When I first came to this church, there were 27 practitioners, which is a lot. And when we had called a prayer meeting, sanctuary was just like a wall of practitioners, then you could go up and ask for prayer. Well, what was happening with me, what I needed prayer for, and I didn't know better, I would ask the practitioner and then put in a prayer request. But my mother was having open heart surgery, and I was flipping out. That is a scary thing. But my mom was okay with it. She just was kind of just going with it. But I asked for treatment, that everything turned out good, that she was healed. That's what I just asked for. She is healed. And so the day, wherever she lived, the way that they did it is the day before the surgery, you have to go down there and have tests. They check you in, they take your blood, whatever. And so she went down and she did that. She had waited, I believe it was like a month to even get her surgery. And so she went down, did all her pre-op stuff. That night, she got a call from her surgeon at about 8 o'clock, canceling the surgery. And she was like, why? You know, I waited a month to get this done. Whatever was wrong with her was gone. Gone. Her heart was perfect. It was fine. They just canceled the surgery. They didn't postpone it, they just canceled it. So that's what practitioners do, in case you were wondering. Yeah, so there, yeah, when we have call to prayer, you might want to come up and, even if everything's cool, just say, I want it to stay cool. That's what I want. The other story is I used to have to travel a lot for work. And when I was in practitioner class, I was also traveling. And I met this girl in the hotel bar and tried to explain to her what a practitioner is, which is a tricky thing, especially when you're new. And she's like, oh, well, I want prayer for blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? And apparently she was seeing a married guy. And she wanted to have him in her life and have everything. And I was like, are you sure? Oh, yeah. I said, but what if he's a Honda? And she's like, what? I said, well, what if God has a Rolls Royce ready for you and this guy's a Honda? Are you sure he's the one you want? Well, so that was one of my first things as a practitioner, was trying to tell somebody about the difference between a Honda and a Rolls Royce. So that's it. Please welcome the Jacksons.
Thank you, Patty. That was perfect. Well, hopefully these songs for you will be some Rolls-Royce songs. we were looking at what we wanted to do this week. We were thinking about writing some new songs, but it just wasn't a week for that. And so we started going through a bunch of our songs that had already been written, and we were just drawn to the two that we brought to you today. And they're basically they're love songs, and why not? Why not bring you guys some love? So these are our love songs to you. This first one is called Love Is Theirs.
Love is theirs, those who give without regret, with no thought of what they'll get. They're the ones that lead us forward from your love. So deep inside, you persevere and just move on, inspiring all of us to follow. You are at one with Spirit's calling, and you receive life's greatest gifts. 'Cause when you give from your heart, a reaction will start, and your love will spread throughout the world. Our circles grow, just like a stone thrown in a pond. Ripples travel with no sound, till their destination's shown, but they are seen, and they are felt, these tiny waves. They will move in all directions, till their destination's found. You are at one with Spirit's calling, and you receive life's greatest gifts. 'Cause when you give from your heart, a reaction will start, and your love will spread throughout the world. You know I honor you so, for the Spirit you show, for your courage and strength, and your hunger to know, for the love that you give, your compassion and gifts that you share with the world. Wherever you go, you are at one with Spirit's calling, and you receive life's greatest gifts. 'Cause when you give from your heart, a reaction will start, and your love will spread throughout the world. 'Cause when you give from your heart, a reaction will start, and your love will spread throughout the world. Thank you.
In a second. There we go. There we are. It's that sweet little look you give each other as you wind up the song so that your timing is right, but it's like, oh, that's it right there. Oh my goodness. All right, so we are a few weeks into a season for nonviolence, so we light the candle again for peace. And this is also February 1st, which is a new month, which is also Black History Month. And so to anchor us today, I have excerpts from the Amanda Gorman poem, The Hill We Climb. This is what she read at Obama's inauguration. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I do have some words that can anchor us in today's world as well. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We brave the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notion of what just isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we know it. Somehow we do it. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek to harm none, and harmony for all. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy, and this effort nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith, we trust, for while we have our eyes to the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption we feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour. But within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe, now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation, become the future. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain, if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the golden hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will build, reconcile, and recover. And every known nook of our nation and every corner of our country, our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Amazing words. And so we have a new theme for the new month. It's called Embracing the Edge. And today's title is Living on the Edge. It can feel like we're living on the edge of a cliff, trying not to fall in, but we're talking about not just the outer edge of the physical world, but the inner edge that we all carry, what we know of as our growing edge. You know, it's that place inside of us where our self-perception meets the greater truth, right? The small human perspective on life that says we are this role and that job and come from this family and live in this place, that where it meets the part of us that is part of the oneness of all that is. That unifying energy of life that we are also of. Not just a part of, not like separate from, but like the drop in the ocean is the ocean. That is who we truly are. So that edge, where those two perspectives meet, sometimes can be full of friction. And the friction comes from realizing we have a comfort zone, that place that we've built where we feel safe, where we are loved, where we feel like ourselves. And then whatever is beyond that edge, which can be scary, which we can tell ourselves that we can't handle. That edge where we self-criticize, where we have doubt, where we move into fear, where we tell ourselves in some way we are not enough. It's very uncomfortable there at that edge. But what if that discomfort is an invitation? What if that discomfort is the marker that says, oh, here is where growth can happen. Here is where expansion and transcendence takes place. Here, at this threshold, there is an opportunity. You are at the edge of possibility. Because we know in our heart of hearts that our ideas for our own lives can be pretty small. can be pretty limited. We can let our lives be defined by the place that we grew up or the family we grew up in or the beliefs that we were raised in and never see beyond that. Or maybe at one point in our life we ventured out and we had adventures and we saw the world and we met different kinds of people and that was great. And then we started our real life and went to work and had the kids and paid the mortgage. And now we're trying to figure out how to retire without starving to death. Our world expands and contracts within all the time. All the time. But if we're going to give up that edge of discomfort, not so much that we are afraid to be uncomfortable, but if we're going to let go of the judgment, the voice in the head that's always telling us, you're a loser in one way or another. The thing that says we're bad or wrong or what we want is ridiculous or not possible. If we're going to let that go, the way to shift that is to move into a place of curiosity, is to think about ourselves with the kindness we would extend to someone else who was struggling. It's that invitation to move from limitation to possibilities. And that threshold is always right where we are. Always possible. And we do that with our spiritual practice, right? That's the whole intent of caring about things that you can't even see. It's remembering that there is an unseen power and presence that we have all felt, and that if we choose to wait for that to awaken in us again, if we choose to practice meditation, kindness, walking, eye contact, we will find ourselves once again aware of this expansive life that we are a part of. It not only gives us room to breathe, it gives others around us room to be who they are. And when we feel seen and heard by each other, that is exactly how we walk with Spirit. That is exactly what the spiritual life looks like. That is the connection of the heart that feeds us. So we want to make sure that we are shifting our perspective periodically from our limited self-perception, who we know ourselves to be in the moment, to that, which changes all the time, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, but the rules of society change over time, right? There was a time when women didn't show their ankles. That's not now. Things change all the time. But what doesn't change are the principles of Spirit. What doesn't change is the fact that love heals and that wisdom exists at the center of our own being. What doesn't change is that the law works, that what we put out into the world, the way in which we live our lives, is what creates our lives. Howard Thurman writes that the fierce indeed is the grip by which we hold on to our lives as our private possession. The struggle to achieve some sense of individuality in the midst of other people and other things is grim. We're always surrounded by persons, forces, and objects which lay siege to us and seek to make us means to their ends, or at least their fulfillment. The demand is ever present to distinguish between the self and the not-self. There are moments of enthusiasm when, with mounting excitement, we absorb ourselves in something beyond ourselves. But after this happens, we fight at length to get back home, to come again into the familiar place, to be secure in our own boundaries. Again and again, the process repeats itself, wearing down the walls that shut us in. It makes me think of toddlers. There's an age, there's a phase that toddlers go through where, when they're infants, if they can't see it, it doesn't exist. And there comes an age when they begin to be more mobile, when they will actually leave the room of their own accord, but then a little while later they'll come back and see if mom is still there. They'll go out and come back, and go out and come back. And what Howard Thurman's words are telling us, they show that this expansion and return is a cycle of our own being, our own development. We stretch into something beyond ourselves, and then we scramble back to the familiar. So he says living on the inner edge means to be willing to stay in that in-between place a little longer. When you get uncomfortable, sit there for a minute. Just a minute. I promise you won't die from it. But it will teach us something. It will show us something. It will light up the sign that says, hey, this is a wall you have around yourself. Do you really need it anymore? Do you really want it? There's really good stuff out there, just over the threshold. Ernest Holmes says that we are to think of our lives as an increasing awareness, an ever-growing and expanding consciousness, a never-ceasing progress of individual and collective evolution. We are meant to expand. We are meant to grow. We feel the need, the urge for something new. The thing is, the something new really doesn't exist on Amazon or at the shoe store, one of my favorites. My mom always said, change your hair, change your life. But true growth is that awareness within, that this urge to expand, to explore, to do something, to be something, to try something different, is part of how we're wired. It's how we grow. So our consciousness, this awareness that is to be expanded, is like a circle of light, right? We use the word light like enlightened, what we see and what we understand. And so what we see and understand is in this circle all around us. And it is possible to expand the circle of light. And when we don't do that, when we stay inside what we already know, we become afraid of the dark. We become fearful and doubtful of our ability to navigate what is not yet known to us. We become afraid of looking foolish for trying something new. Anybody take on a new skill? I see a look being exchanged over here. Any elbows going? You know, the artist you wanted to be when you were 7, but, you were told to get a real job? Right? Or the cooking recipe that you want to try even though you only have 2 pots and a frying pan? Yeah. What if you made that dish and it tasted like garbage and you threw it out and went to Taco Bell anyway? I'm not sure that's an upgrade, but you know what I mean. We're afraid. When all we really have to do is just shine the light a little bit further out. Be willing to see and understand something new. Go with a friend. Join up with someone. Come here. Take on a project. Find someone else who wants to learn how to make tiramisu. And then bring it to church on Sunday to share for snacks. Thresholds are doorways. They're not limitations. They're not meant to hold us in. Stepping into the next room is meant to expand our world. Edges are not only on cliffs that fall into the abyss. Economist and author Stephen Pressfield writes, when we're succeeding, that is, when we've begun to overcome our self-doubt and self-sabotage where we are, when we are evolving to a higher level, that's when the panic strikes. When we experience panic, it means we are about to cross a threshold. We are poised on the doorstep of a higher plane. So you see, when we do our spiritual practice and we treat for the highest and best rather than the Honda, when we allow life to show us what our best really could be without outlining what it has to look like, we will always be pleasantly surprised. We will always step into something greater than we could have even imagined, as long as we're willing to at least take the first step. And what we find when we move forward is that our light comes with us, that it ceases to be a dark path the minute we step onto it. Indiana Jones fans? All the challenges, yep, and then there's that chasm that he's supposed to go across, and there's no way across, but he has to go, and he's already learned from the other 17 times he almost got blown up that it's going to work out for him if he just trusts. And so he takes a step out, and the path appears. It's camouflaged. It's like one of those 3D pictures. You couldn't really see it until you saw it. That's life. That's how we are. We take the step, the universe says, oh, here, let me help you. But every step we take, positive or negative, the universe says, oh, here, let me help you. So if in your mind or on your Facebook feed you are doom scrolling day after day after day, if you're never taking a break from what is coming at you in the world, what are you putting out there? Your fearful reaction to what's happening in the world. That's not helping. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the world. It doesn't help the people you love. What does help is to step back, to go within, to say, oh, I'm judging myself as being inadequate or doubtful or fearful. And instead of telling myself what I am or I am not or what I can't do, I could change that to, oh, growth is happening here. Let me love that. Let me love myself through what feels like a challenge. Let me take steps to comfort myself on my path. Let me reach out a hand to a friend who's struggling, because I too have struggled with this particular edge. Let me remember that within me, what I awaken to is always something greater, always something grander, always something more me, more authentically me. Retired American Episcopal Bishop Stephen Charleston. The tipping point of faith is the threshold of spiritual energy where what we believe becomes what we do. When that power is released, there's no stopping it, for love is a force that cannot be contained. It all comes back to all that 1980s cool stuff from Louise Hay that said, look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. When was the last time any of you did any mirror work? How many of you did mirror work the first time around? A few of us, yes, Yeah, might want to revisit that. Why? Because we're worth it. Because everything outside of us is telling us we're not. We're helpless. We're powerless. We can't do anything. We're afraid. We're afraid for our neighbors. We're afraid for our friends. People are not treating each other well. They're treating each other with cruelty and brutality. And that is not who we are or who we want to be. So in order to balance that out, being in this world and still being able to live with ourselves, we have to start here. We'll talk more about the world next week, but this week it's about here. It's about remembering that we want to live authentically. And in order to live authentically, we have to be willing to be in those places that are rough edges, where the conflict is, where the struggle is, where the discomfort is, and remind ourselves that that is simply a threshold of growth. And you know what? We can do that. We've done hard things our whole lives. We've survived things that scare us now even to think about, and yet here we are. Which means we can do the same again, and we are not doing it alone. We are never doing this alone. When we know within ourselves that we are part of a spiritual universe, then we know we are connected, not only to the people we know and love, and the folks that are there for us, and the people that we're there for, but also to the very energy of life that will not let us succumb to fear alone, that will not let us be swallowed up by anger. When those things wash over us, they pass. Everything like that has always moved on eventually. When you were in deep grief and cried forever and thought you would never come out of it, you did. When you were really afraid and you didn't know how you could possibly get through something, you did. And we'll do it again. And what's different now is that you know more now. What's different now is that you know your own heart more. What's different now is that you know to ask the question, to open yourself up to the edge of possibility, and the possibilities could be positive. They're not all horrible things that could happen. Good things can happen too. And when we practice knowing the good, when we practice seeing the light in each other, when we practice knowing the light in our own self, then when we meet the world at the edge of our experience, we are open to possibilities of positivity. We are open to showing up in a way that brings our light, that lights the path before us, that dispels the darkness. That is who we truly are. So living on the edge within is meeting the tension between who we think we are and who we really are. That divine self that is the truth of us. The boundary that we know ourselves to be between the familiar and what's unknown. And it often feels uncomfortable because of the small stories we tell ourselves. All the things we tell ourselves we're not, or we can't do, or we're not good at, or they're better, and I'll never have that. Those stories keep us small, and we have the ability to go out, and we can always come back, but we can move out into the world a little bit, or with new people, or try new things, or taste some exotic food like, I don't know, fried Spam. Nobody's here from Hawaii? Anybody had Spam? Okay. It's actually really good fried. It's ham in a can. Whatever. Never mind. New joke for next week. Okay. But the thing is, when we have to remind ourselves that the human standards of life, the cultural stuff, changes. Everybody's showing their ankles now. We're all good. But spiritual values do not. Love and honesty and integrity and inclusion and unity and kindness and care and peace, those don't change. Those are always available to us as us. So what we want to remember is that as we shift our perspective on who we really are, Holmes says that we can allow the perfection that we know spirit to be to seep into the cracks of our self-perception, softening judgment and expanding acceptance. Not acceptance that, oh, well, that's what it is. Because that's not the end of the story. Whatever it is still becoming. And so we are always standing on the edge of becoming. And if we will just let our grip go a little bit on what we think our circle is, if we're willing to step over the threshold and let that light shine, then we will see ourselves as Spirit sees us, which is that ever-expanding, ever-evolving, ever-shining light of the world. Namaste. So I invite you to join me in prayer. Breathing in and anchoring these ideas, this way of thinking, these perspectives that perhaps are a little bit new or a little bit untested. Anchoring them in the knowledge that Spirit is ever present. That the very energy of life that lives us is this Spirit. Another name for love. That which sustains and nourishes and grows all that it is. For it is its very nature for life to support life. And we are that life. There is only
one life, and that is our life now. And it is perfect. And it is becoming on this plane, in our experience, it is always unfolding in new and wondrous ways. And so I speak a word for bravery, for the courage to step out, for the courage to look within, for the bravery it takes to look ourselves in the eyes and tell ourselves the truth. For it is in this truth that we become our best selves. We are not broken. We are not less than. We are, in fact, children of the Most High, expressing life in its greatest creative form. And I speak a word that our flame, that flame within the heart, begins to burn a little brighter. That we feed it with love and attention and care and compassion, so that we might see our way forward more clearly, so that we might bring our light into a room and share it with all the others in the room, that we might light a path that is new, that is uplifting, that is inclusive, that is healing. The more we know, the better we do. And the more we know Spirit, the better we do in and as love. And so for this love and its healing power, I give great thanks. Grateful for the healing that I see all around me. Grateful for the positive possibilities that show up everywhere I look. Grateful for each and every one of us that even in our pain or distress, we know enough to hold hands, to help out, to do what we can where we are with what we have, and that it is enough. I am grateful that all that we are is more than enough, here and now and always. And I know that as I speak, I release my word into the infinite mind, that consciousness without a circumference, where the light shines always and forever and everywhere. Releasing it, releasing my word into that light. I know it is already done. And I simply let it go and let it be and let it become. And so it is. And I invite you to join me in saying our affirmation, which you'll find in your program. And if you will, repeat after me. I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion. I meet my inner edge with courage, curiosity, and compassion. I evolve gracefully. And so it is. All right. Let's have a little more music. Welcome the Jacksons back up front. Thank you.
Good morning. Let me see. Boy. Every time we play.
No.
Now, I got to tell you, we wrote this song many years ago. Okay, but I think you just wrote it again. This was written for a very good friend. He passed a few years ago. He was a minister out at the center in San Bernardino. His name was Reverend George Hahn. And he did things that would scare me to do. he would go out. That church isn't in the best neighborhood in the world. Okay, and walking out there at night and going door to door and talking to people and seeing if they needed help. Anyway, but then I realized that this song is about you guys. It's about you. It's about us. It's called Love Makes It Happen, and I hope it works for you.
You see a vision of the world at peace, and it's done. Love makes it happen. Armed with your faith and your unceasing love, you act. Love makes it happen. From where I stand, you are a tower of strength, an inspiration in the wilderness, a guiding light that helps me follow my heart and shows me where I can begin again. You battle hunger as you open our eyes, and it's done. Love makes it happen. Teach understanding, work together as one, and it's done. Love makes it happen. You see in others the power of love, and you combine it with your own. You share your gifts by helping others to see that we were meant to live as one. There is no doubt that we could use some more like you, as you reach out into the world and follow through. See a vision of the world at peace, and it's done. Love makes it happen. Armed with your faith and your unceasing love, you act. Love makes it happen. Love makes it happen. Love makes it happen. Love makes it happen. Thank you.
Never ceases to amaze me how the music and the words all fit together, because it's not like we talk about it. I mean, could it have been a more perfect song? No. Perfect. Okay. So before we do announcements, let's know that we are abundant. Do you feel abundant? That's good. You want to share your abundance? Sure you do. Here come our ushers. And for those of you online, you can give on our website or through our e-blast or text to give. Information is all at ClaremontCSL.org. For those of you in the room, you can also automate your giving so that if you're not here on a Sunday, it will still come to support your beautiful community. Let me know if you have questions about how to do that. We can set that up. But since you're here, let's take whatever you are contributing, your consciousness, your treasure, your time, and say our prosperity affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, Okay. So we'll start our invitations and announcements by thanking Carmen for our beautiful flowers today. They are beautiful, all white, just lovely. Remember, you too can contribute flowers to Sunday morning, and then you get to take them home with you when you're done. There's a sign-up sheet in the back, and the cost is $40. And this is our local florist. If you have needs for flowers for any other occasion, please contact the office. Andy will give you Julie's number, and she does amazing work. She just does beautiful arrangements for any occasion, parties, what have you. So we're very blessed to have her creative gifts coming through our center. And thank you to Carmen for donating today. Wednesday night meditation, 6:30, online with practitioner Nisa. It is a Zoom connection. There's a link again in the weekly e-blast or also on the website. And it's a lovely way to pause in the middle of your week. Our next new class starts this Tuesday. It's Spiritual Economics, which is based on the book by the same name of Eric Butterworth. It is an 8-week class, and we're meeting on Tuesdays, beginning February 3rd through March 24th. There is a sign-up sheet in the back if you haven't already signed up, or if you're even thinking about maybe you want to change your relationship with prosperity and money and abundance and flow and all those good things. Put your name on the list, and Reverend Mary will give you a call and just let you see if it's a good fit for you. It's a wonderful class. And even if you've taken it before, take it again. It's good for us, you know? How many of you know that life is better when you're in class? Okay, just checking. All right, we also have an interest sheet in the back if you are interested in taking our foundations class, which are it's the breakdown of the principles that we talk about on a Sunday, but a little bit more personal, a little more direct way of applying it to your own life, getting to know science of mind philosophy a little better. If that's something that sounds good to you, there is a sign-up sheet in the back. We don't have dates and times yet. We're waiting to see how many people are interested, and when we have a group, we'll get it set up according to everybody's schedules. So do put your name and number in the back. We have our annual meeting coming up at the end of this month. It's February 22nd. We'll have service here. We'll go next door. We will eat lunch, where the board is providing lunch for everyone. And then we will have our annual meeting, which is an opportunity not only to elect new board members and acknowledge those that have served us already, but to talk about where we are as a community, what we might like to be and become in this next year, pat ourselves on the back for all the wonderful things we did this year, and answer any questions you may have, and take in any new ideas on what we as a community might do to show up in the world in an even greater way. Yes, Graham? Yes, and elect new board. I actually said that first, but I'll say it again, because we do have a couple people running for the board. And if you are interested, it's not too late to throw your name in the hat. Just talk to Mickey or Chris, and they'll give you the scoop. All right? It is important that you come. Even if you're not a member and you won't be voting, it's still good to know that as a community, there's more going on than just the little tiny piece that you see on a Sunday, or maybe that you see in a class. You know, we're part of a larger organization, and this is our opportunity to say, hey, this is who we are as a movement and as a community, and as opportunities for us to be of service to each other and to the greater community. So we hope to see you all there. Plus, I think we're having pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? I mean, good pizza, you know. Okay, just checking. Saturday, the 21st of February, so that's the day before the annual meeting, is Reiki Share. So here in the chapel at 1 o'clock, energy work is being done. You are invited to come and receive that. And if you are a level 2 or Reiki master, please talk to Sue. Raise your hand, Sue. We would love to have a couple more practitioners, because sometimes there's more people wanting services than we have practitioners. So do come for that. What else? Okay, next week at the end of service, we will do call to prayer, which Patty alluded to. That's our practitioners will come up front, and you will have an opportunity to receive a little 1-minute tune-up at the end of service before we go in for coffee and cookies. And if you have not ever seen a practitioner, it is the least scary way to do it for the first time. So just put it in your mind that you're going to be brave and walk up here to the front of the room and let them pray for you, because as we know, prayer works. Prayer works. All right, my friends, I think that's it. We're going to have coffee in a minute, but let's stand up, move to the sides, and sing.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every walk of life, every creed and color, every creed and color. In kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. We come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, 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 we come together. In the name of love. There's something wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with our eyes. We're seeing things in a different way, and God knows it ain't His. It sure ain't no surprise. We're living on the edge. Living on the edge. Living on the edge. Living on the edge. There's something wrong with the world today. The light bulb's getting dim. There's meltdown in the sky. If you can judge a wise man by the color of his skin, the misty